Hello, and welcome back to the Natural Wellness Tips Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Jennifer Shaw. I am super excited to be here, and I'm really excited because this information is something that is covered in a webinar that I did just last week about getting effing fit. Because we have misconceptions about what we need to do in order to get fit. And I wanted to get this content up here on the podcast as well, so that you could really have some place to come back to and really learn this content and just have it so you can listen to it a couple times and really let it sink in. Because when we think about getting fit, we think about a lot of times increasing our workouts. We think about really like restricting what we eat and things like that. And that's really not what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so as we move through these 3 tips, we're going to move through the day. And I've discussed in the podcast before that the first hour of being awake, our minds are the most programmable. That means what we think, what we do, what we hear, what we see, it all truly matters. It also makes what we consume and when we start consuming in this first part of the day extremely important. That has to do with like news and food and drinks and everything, right? So we're going to be diving into some habits that have made all the difference in my fitness. We're going to start with morning routine. Then we're going to discuss nutrition. It's more than what we eat when we talk about nutrition. It's really about getting enough of certain nutrients to keep our bodies functioning properly and to really curb snacking. Lastly, we're going to discuss sleep. Sleep has been shown to be more important than working out when it comes to our weight loss and our fitness levels. I bet most of you listening didn't know that, right? And I bet that there has been a time in your life where you have sacrificed sleep in order to fit that workout in. I know I have. So let's just dive in, guys. If this is your first time to the podcast, thank you so much for tuning in. Whatever channel you are listening on, make sure you subscribe, follow along so you get notified each week when I drop new content. And head over to Instagram to say hi, Natural Wellness Tips. I love to hear from you guys. Let me know what topics you want to hear, what people you want on the podcast, what I can do for you. So with anything in our lives, our fitness level is all about consistency. This should be pretty logical to everyone, but what we do, like, I kind of want to break it down this way. Like, which do you think is most important for your overall fitness? You could take a walk. Like, let's say you have 2 options. You could take a walk for 10 minutes a day for 30 days, or you could walk for 5 hours once a month. Which do you think is going to have a bigger impact on your health, your wellness, and your fitness, right? I think that the answer is pretty logical. It's 10 minutes a day, right? As we go through these 3 areas, I really want you to remember that it's about adding on these bite-sized pieces so you can remain consistent with them. The number one overreaching key to fitness is consistency. So let's talk about some of the areas that I have found to be really impactful in my fitness. So the first is our morning. I want you to truly pause and think about what your morning looks like. Do you wake up to a blaring alarm? Do you rush around stressed out? Do you cram a carb-dense snack in your mouth while drinking your caffeine-filled beverage and rushing out the door? Now, if I just described you, there's no reason to feel bad about it. That's okay. It's totally okay. It used to be me. And that is how I felt going through my life, going through my day. Like, that was my morning. And it's a really regular morning for a lot of people, right? But what we should strive for, and what happens in my day-to-day life now, is that we have a slow increase in our mornings, right? Like we don't just like boom, blaring alarm, rush into the morning, right? So what happens when we look at these stressful mornings, we want to talk about cortisol levels, right? So you have a slow increase in the mornings to your peak cortisol level. Cortisol is our stress hormone, but it's also a really important hormone for our function, for our energy, for our overall health and wellness, right? And I went deeper into this in the webinar, but really when you think about this, there's this high peak and then it levels back off until you go to bed. Okay. And then when we're stressed, the peak gets even higher and it doesn't quite level off. But unfortunately, like what happens, it like stays high and stays elevated, right? And unfortunately, what happens is when we stay in that high stress level for too long, then we end up staying in, like we end up burning our adrenals out. We end up burning out our cortisol levels. Like we don't have a store of cortisol anymore. Like we end up in going from having too much cortisol because of high stress to like not enough cortisol, to going to like chronic fatigue and things. And all of this can truly impact our health and wellness, and it can absolutely impact our fitness levels, right? So this high level of cortisol sustained throughout the day is basically putting a complete roadblock up against your fitness goals. It's making them almost impossible to reach. When we have high levels of cortisol, our body holds on to fat. Our body holds on to whatever it can because it thinks a lion or a tiger or a bear is chasing you all the time. So it needs to hold on to everything it can. So we need to address these cortisol issues, right? And I'll tell you some of the things I do in my morning to truly address the cortisol issues. And really, just outside of the cortisol issues, like are when we wake up to that blaring intensity, we automatically go to a negative spiral. What are we late for? What are we running behind on? What do we need to do? What are we overwhelmed about, right? So we get into this negative thing. So we need to stop those negative thoughts. We need to stop that like blaring morning and think about what we want to become our reality. So there's a few things that you can shift, and it doesn't mean you need an hour or 3 hours in your morning. These are really simple things that you can shift in your morning. The first thing is to wake up slowly with an alarm clock that lights up the room. If you guys click down below, there's a link to my Amazon shop, and there is a light there in non-toxic living, a alarm clock that lights up over 10 minutes. It slowly lights the room up. The cool thing, guys, is you wake up most of the time before the alarm actually goes off. And when the alarm goes off, it's beautiful little birds chirping, and it's this nice calming, grounding sensation. It's so awesome. That is such a simple shift to make in how you wake up. One of the best things we can actually do to trigger that normal increase in cortisol so that we have a normal flow throughout the day is to get light or sunlight specifically in the morning. So, if you can go from your bedroom to an outside walk for 10 minutes, sitting on your porch for 10 minutes, even if you're in like the cold, East Coast, stand in front of a big window and get that natural light for 5 to 10 minutes. It's so huge in your overall health. The next is to hydrate when you wake up. Guys, we're dehydrated after sleeping. Our joints are stiff. We don't have enough hydration in our bodies. We need to drink, and that's going to also help kick our metabolism into doing its job, right? So I keep a glass of water by my bed, and then you can put citrus oils in it, such as lemon or tangerine, that are high in limonene, that are going to help detox the body naturally. But drink that water first and foremost before you do anything else. And the other thing that I do that has made a big difference in my overall health and fitness is using balance oil on the bottom of my feet. Balance oil is a grounding blend that helps improve circulation, focus. It has a general calming energy, and it just helps settle me. You guys, if you're not getting the point, the most important thing here we can do in the mornings is not stress ourselves out. Because if we stress ourselves out in the morning, we're increasing our cortisol levels beyond what they normally should be, which is then causing us detrimental issues as far as our ability to even let go of weight and hit our fitness goals. So those are the three biggest things, but I want to kind of touch on one last thing that's going to lead into our second, which is our nutrition. And the last thing I want to touch on is eating. We are not designed to eat all day, every day, throughout every waking moment. We are not designed to eat when we wake up and to eat until we go to bed and sleep for a couple hours. But that is exactly what so many people do. And if you truly want to get and remain fit, I found one of the keys is absolutely for me eating in an 8 or less hour window. So, or sorry, 10 or less hour window. I usually eat in like an 8 to 6. That's why I said 8. So, but I'll tell you why I say 10. There's all kinds of fancy words out there for this, intermittent fasting being one of the most popular terms for it. But I want to talk to you about the research. The research out of the Salk Institute here in La Jolla, in California, shows that eating in a 10-hour window has a positive effect on weight loss, weight around the waist and hips, blood sugar, and more. You guys, we need to limit the time frame in which we are consuming calories. So stop eating when you wake up. And let's just quickly run through some of the excuses you are dropping in your head right now so we can eliminate them and move on. If I don't eat in the morning, I will never find time to eat. One of the biggest excuses I hear. If you are already rushing in the morning and eating that protein bar or something quick at home, just shift when you're eating it. Have your first meal be a protein shake like doTERRA's vegan or whey protein shake with a high quality nut milk. Make a smoothie before you leave the house. Heck, make the smoothie the night before and put it in something in the fridge. Drink it at your desk. Make overnight oats in a mason jar and eat it on the go. Everyone, I promise, has 2 minutes to eat something or drink something that's nutrient dense. Check the phone less, right? I know that all of our situations are different. I get that. But it's always a choice. So shift when you are eating that really fast snack that you're eating on the way out the door and find something healthy that you can do. The protein shake's a great option here. The second biggest excuse I hear, I work out in the mornings and there's no way I can work out fasted. Well, let me be real clear about this. If you want to truly get fit, if you want to burn the last of that fat, if you actually do need to teach your body how to burn and use fat. And one of the best ways to do that is working out fasted. So I will work out like this morning. I worked out at 6:45. I didn't eat until noon. I've trained my body to do that. I didn't even get hungry until like 11 and then I wasn't even starving. I was like, oh yeah, I should eat, right? Will this suck in the beginning? It absolutely will. Your body isn't going to be used to it. You've been eating, throughout the day, all day. Give yourself a couple weeks to adjust, and then you'll actually feel better even when working out fasted. I promise you, you'll feel better in your workouts. You'll feel like you have more power, more control. It's so good. But in the little interim, like think about it. If you're right now eating from like 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., like just start to inch the one forward. So instead of eating at 6, eat at 7. Instead of eating at 7, eat at 8. Just keep inching it forward until you get it to where you want it to be so that you're eating in that 10-hour window, right? These truly are excuses that you've made up, you've heard from other people, you've told yourself so many times that you believe them. And it's just time to let them go. I had all these same excuses too. Or you can hang on to them a bit longer and continue to fall short of your fitness goals. That's totally up to you, right? We have all been fed the lie that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And in my opinion, breaking your fast, breakfast, later in the morning, like 9 or 10, is a complete game changer for your health and fitness goals. So we've really broken down our morning. We've really talked about what is good for us in the morning, right? Now let's talk about nutrition. So we're going to shift gears here a little bit. And if we don't fuel our bodies with the nutrients it needs, it'll hold on to whatever it can. And likely that will be fat and toxins. And those increase in toxins increase the size of our fat cells. And, we get into this vicious cycle of not being able to lose this weight. So we need to give the body what it needs. So we'll talk about some statistics. This is statistics from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. 31% of people in the US are deficient in iron and vitamins, including E, C, calcium, and magnesium. 95% have inadequate levels of vitamin D. You guys, vitamin D is so important. And you can actually just Google this and look at like the longitudinal line of where you are unable to get vitamin D in the fall and winter seasons across the US. It's pretty incredible. Like in San Diego, we can get vitamin D all year round. In New York, you guys can't. You have to supplement, okay? 97% of people lack required fiber. You guys, this lack in nutrition is causing us to have low immune function, issues with injury recovery, subpar function of our bodies. Why is this so bad for us, right? This is this is crazy for us in the US specifically because of our agricultural processes, right? So the Journal of American College of Nutrition studies the nutritional value of 43 different fruits and veggies from both 1950 and 1999. They found a consistent decline in protein, calcium, phosphorus, iron, riboflavin, which is also B12 or B2. B12 it should be, vitamin C. And this is an important thing that we understand. Our food simply does not have the nutrients it used to. We need 36 apples today to get the same nutritional value as one apple in 1950. Is your mind blown, right? Like, and I get all these questions. What if I eat organic? What if I'm a vegetarian or vegan? It doesn't matter. The food does not have the nutrients it used to have, right? So what do we do from here? If we want to reach our fitness goals, we really need to fuel our bodies properly. And there's two keys for me here under nutrition: supplements and fiber. So supplements, we need to be supplementing, and not all supplements are created equal. I've tried many supplements and found zero results. I swear by doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Pack because the results speak for themselves. This pack provides you with everything you need to help your body function optimally. It'll help with hormone levels, energy, sleep, injury recovery, mental clarity, and so much more. We need to be supplementing, and this is truly, in my opinion, the absolute best option on the market. It's going to cover all of the needs that I mentioned just before, except fiber. We're going to talk about fiber in just a second. So this is key, guys. And if you're ready to try these, you can try them with a 30-day money-back guarantee. I can help you order these supplements and you can try them for 30 days. And if they don't help you feel better, have more energy, sleep better, have improved digestion, less aches and pains, you can get your money back. So I'll give you a link down below, my favorite way to try these supplements when you first start. But now the second thing here in nutrition I really want to talk about is fiber. Fiber helps support a healthy metabolism. It supports gut health and digestive motility. Digestive motility is things moving through you. Okay, so not to be vulgar, but like when you eat corn, how soon after does it come back out the other end, right? It's a really quick gauge to tell you how motile your digestive system is, right? These things shouldn't be in us for 4 or 5 days, but for a lot of people, they are, right? So I want to talk also about satiation. So how do we feel full? When we have enough fiber in our diets, we feel full. If we do not get enough fiber with our meals, we are hungry shortly thereafter. Maybe you're trying to push back your first meal or stop eating right before bed. Grab fiber and use that. The FDA recommends 25 to 38 grams of dietary fiber every day. And one serving of, you guessed it, doTERRA's fiber provides 6 grams of soluble and insoluble fiber. You guys, this is so key. So when you are trying to push back those meals, you're trying to feel full for longer. You want your body to have what it needs to function properly, the digestive system. Start incorporating doTERRA's fiber in daily to your diet. This fiber is incredible. It has a lemon essential oil flavor, has natural vitamin C, unique prebiotic blend. And when you add this into your routine, you will literally be able to like stop snacking. You'll have power over snacking. And you'll be able to help your body in so many ways. Okay, so we've ironed out our morning. We're now adding in fiber and supplements. Now, you can go buy fiber at the health food store. I promise you it's not going to have all the amazing things that doTERRA's fiber has in it, and it's definitely not going to taste as good. So I definitely recommend giving this fiber a try. I have the link down below so you can check out my favorite way to get all of it. But let's talk about the last component, sleep. Sleep, diet, and exercise are all integral in fitness and health. However, I would argue that sleep is the most important. Here's why. When we don't sleep well, our bodies actually release hormones, making us more hungry, which makes us more prone to snacking. And if we have low energy, we're less likely to work out. I believe that without good sleep, it is hard to maintain a good diet and movement routine. Do you feel me on that? Because I think a lot of us can relate to that, right? It is optimal And when I talk about this, I'm talking about Ayurvedic medicine, Eastern medicine. It is optimal to get to bed before 10 p.m. and to sleep for 8 hours. You know, you are not superhuman if you only think you need 5 hours of sleep. You are actually sending yourself statistically to an early grave. So what I always recommend is figure out when you need to wake up, go back at 8 hours, and then add another hour on to get in bed and get your body and mind ready for sleep. There's a lot of things in my sleep routine. I know I've shared them in the podcast, but I'm going to keep this super short and super sweet here. Leave time for your body and mind to unwind. Put balance on the bottoms of your feet. So keep that right in your nightstand. You're doing that in the morning and the evening. You're going to put lavender in your hand or your diffuser if you have it. You can even add some breathe if you have it. Breathe in a few deep, steady, deep breaths, and then longer exhales. Deep, long inhales, longer exhales. You can put deep blue on any sore muscles or joints that you have. You're going to get off your screens, turn the TVs, the phones, the iPads off, grab an actual book, read, calm your mind, and get some sleep, right? We overcomplicate sleep. We need to make a practice of it. When we put kids to sleep, they have a whole routine. We need a whole routine. We need to give ourselves space and energy and time to shut off and to fall asleep. It is so imperative that we do that. You may only have 1 or 2 tweaks to make, or you may be a little overwhelmed right now because you have a lot of shifts to make. But wherever you are, take it one shift at a time. Get consistent and you'll see results. There comes a time where your fitness that you can maintain your physique and your health with a lot less effort, but you have to do the work to get there first. We've all done the work. Those of us that are really fit, we've done the work and now we maintain and or continue to reach bigger, better goals, right? So if you guys have a doTERRA account, you know what you need to go get. You need a citrus oil for the morning, balance. You need the lifelong vitality pack. You need fiber. If you don't have a doTERRA account, guys, you have 2 choices. Click down below and get started with the Healthy Habits Kit and fiber. I'm going to put it down below with a link. And if you guys grab it from this podcast, you're going to get an extra gift from me. I'm going to, send you some spoiled things about your best morning routine and your best healthy habits. And then also, if you guys are like not quite sure and you don't want to dive all the way in yet, you can do the 5-day oil experience. 5-day oil experience, I send you 6 samples. You get to sample our protein. You get to sample our balance, wild orange and peppermint. You get to try all different things and you get my guidance for 5 days. It's just $10. And if in the who referred you question of that form, you write the podcast, then I'm going to send you a sample of the fiber too, so you can give it a try. You can reach your fitness goals. I used to be overweight. I used to be out of shape. And I struggled and yo-yo dieted and went all over the place and up and down and up and down. And I have been so steady and consistent in my fitness level now because I am consistent in my routine. I'm consistent with these simple habits. Yes, increasing your workouts can make a difference, but not until you decrease your cortisol levels, not until you get rid of your stress levels, right? Or you lower your stress levels. Really, there's the reason I called it nutrition and not diet. Because this isn't a diet. This is a way of life. This is supplementing your body with what it needs. Get serious about the habit that you want to shift first and shift it. Head over to Instagram, send me a message and say, hey, I'm going to work on my eating window first. I'm going to work on drinking my glass of water in the morning first. Let me know what you're going to work on. I want to hear about it. I want to root you on. I want to cheer you on. So I hope this was really, really helpful, guys. If you have any questions, or you need any support, you can comment below where you're listening to this. You can message me on Instagram at Natural Wellness Tips. You can head over to the website, drjennifershaw.com. And I will catch you guys next time on the podcast. Namaste.